We have here the brand new 2024 Specialized Tarmac SL8 Pro Frame custom build of my bike in a size 56 with pedals, cages, and garment mount, weighing at 6.89 kilos and in pounds, 15 pounds, 3 ounces. Stay tuned to after video where free buy contest on those Loon Mega Hyper wheels right there. Hey, how's it going, everyone? GC Performance here, back with another video, and I am in love with my new bike right here. This is, as you guys just heard, the Specialized Tarmac SL8 in a Pro frame set. This is a gloss white, and the labels on the bicycle are a gloss black. This is my full custom build-up that I've been waiting almost 6 months to put together and waiting for all these parts to come in. And yeah, you guys saw it there, 6.88 kilos. That is with pedals, that is with cages, and that is with my garment mount on there as well. And that is with, yeah, a Durace crank, but the rear derailleur, Ultegra, the shifters are Ultegra, but then I have a bunch of other niche items on here. Definitely boutique-ish, and we'll talk about all those things, but I'm just ecstatic. I rode this bicycle on Saturday, did a pretty fast group ride. We did 60 miles on the bicycle, and it handled phenomenally. And that's even with me cutting the spacers down more than what I wanted to, as you guys can see right there, and running the 120, but the bicycle is crazy light, and I was very happy with how it performed on there. Usually I like to take it a little bit easier on the first ride of a bicycle, but the whole bike just performed really, really well. So I want to go over everything on here. Yes, I've done 3 videos on this bicycle probably already. I've done my unboxing, I've done my build video, but this is my final walk around of it. And then later on in the road, I'm going to make it even lighter. I already have new wheels coming out. I'm sure you guys already know what they are. I have something else coming out, like a new crank coming out for it. So we'll talk about a bunch of things that we're changing here, but a big thanks to everyone who helped me get this bicycle together. There's a couple companies that I've worked with in the past that sent me out products for this bicycle, and I'm very excited with it and how everything turned out. So I'll put a link down below for everything down below, and everything that I have discount codes for, like the OSPW, the bottom bracket, the wheels, that's it really. I'll have that down below, but also the Alu gear stuff, I'll put a link to them. The handlebar, I'll put a link to them, and the saddle as well, which is, I'm in love with that too. And also I got my Strada Bianchi rotors on there, my carbon tie, my Pagachas on there, but we'll get into that in a second. But yes, 6.88 kilos, and these are power meter pedals. Crazy. So not only that, I have a dual side power meter pedal and this chunky old mount right here. But let's get into this build on here. So starting off with the cockpit, this is by a company called EXS. It stands for Extraordinary Speed. This is one of the best looking handlebars, I think, to match with that speed sniffer on there. It has such a girth to this stem that it literally looks like it pairs very well with this thing. If you ever seen it slammed on this bicycle and you're able to ride the bicycle slammed, it looks really good. But just the overall look of the stem and also the aesthetics of the front tube matches really, really well with it. Not only that, the EXS is $450, and it is also lighter than other bars out there on the market. So I figured, hey, why not? They give you custom 3D printed spacers for the head tube cap and also right here. But in my video you guys just saw, it had a gray spacer on there that didn't match these, so I actually had to get rid of one spacer, and it kind of made me a little bit lower on there. I adapted to it, but that is some stuff you run the risk when paying the $450 mark instead of the $600 mark. But overall quality, very impressed with it, and it is lighter than the other people out there as well. They give you the included garment mount. So EXS, they have a bunch of different ranges from 36, 38, 40, 42, 44, and a bunch of different stem lengths. This is right here is a 120 to 38, and the cool thing about them is that they are actually 10 millimeters different reach than like a Revolve bar, so you can run a little bit longer stem on here. So this being a 120, it actually feels pretty comfortable, and I sit right here flush in the hoods, which I'm very happy with. Right here they also do give you their out front garment mount, but it's kind of like a plastic one, and they can swap it out for an extra $100 if you want to for a titanium, and they do give you an option to put a light underneath here as well. I just haven't done the attachment for that, but that is nice on there. So I'll give you guys, it's called the Aero Over, and this thing is $450. They're very hard to find. I guess they're doing really well after one of my videos went out, but they make them for Scott foils, they make them for Venges, they make them for Tarmac SL7s. You can get this bar pretty much with anything, and it looks phenomenal with the bike builds on there. So very, very nice. This is the most I've been riding for consecutively. I'm riding about 3 times a week now. I'm feeling very, very strong, or stronger than normal. But as you guys know, I have the kid on the way, so that is probably going to slow down once the baby comes. But I'm very excited with my fit and on where it is. I'm very happy with my whole bike build. I felt very comfortable on the bicycle for that 60 miles and felt like I can do much, much more. For the handlebar tape on there, I went with Berg. I don't actually sell Berg itself. I got in contact with them. I reached out to them. They kind of hooked me up a little bit on a discount, but their tape is phenomenal. One of the most comfortable tapes out there on the market, I think. They give a bunch of cool pattern designs, either in black and white or all black if you like to, but they have a really cool pattern designs on there. So I went with this. It is, I will say this, it is very comfy, very, very cushiony, but the smoothness of the handlebar tape when riding, I don't wear gloves. It is a little bit slippery when riding and sweating profusely, so keep that in mind. So if you don't ride gloves, just be careful of that. You know, it's not that big of a deal. I usually ride in the hoods or in the drops, so I have a pretty good grip on there. For the group set on there, I went with the Shimano Ultegra group set, 12 gears in the rear and 1 in the front with a 1x. Basically, I went ahead and saved a little bit of money with the group set and then splurged for the heavier items on there. I don't know the massive weight difference between a Dura-Ace and Ultegra shifter, even though I did a video on it, but I figured enough I could save on other parts there and not splurge for the more expensive Dura-Ace components there. And I honestly think that the gray doesn't look that bad. And I kind of got the Dura-Ace crank just for the bling factor of it. That's a little bike mechanic tip right there. If you want people to think you have money, go ahead and get a Dura-Ace crank or the highest end crank you can, like SRAM Red, and it just draws their attention to that, and they don't even look at the other components in there. So that's a good little tidbit on there. Going down to the front of the wheel here, we have the WINSPACE Loon Mega Hypers on here. These are one of their most expensive wheels they have to offer, and the reason for that, they are $2,600, and you guys can use my code down below, it'll get you 10% off. But their whole idea with this wheel is that it's going to compete with a lightweight wheel. You guys can see here they have a full bonded spoke section right here, carbon fiber spokes bonded together, a carbon fiber hub flange on here as well. The cool thing about these is that they say when they made them to be super lightweight, I believe for the set, it's a 45 front, 54 rear, I'm sorry, 46 front, 54 rear on there. It's meant to be super lightweight, so I think they're like 1,375 grams or 1,380 grams, but the wheel is extremely stiff laterally when riding. I noticed the bicycle really was responsive when standing up out of the saddle and sprinting. It felt like when you just torqued your bike with your handlebars, that kind of generated forward, so it was really, really nice. I did like the ride feel of these wheels, but they are expensive. They come with ceramic bearings, they come with their own mega hubs in there, but the cool thing is that unlike lightweight, where if you have any kind of damage to your spokes or hubs or rim, you have to send that thing out to Germany. You have to get it fixed there. It's an expensive cost, whereas this is detachable. So if you ever break a spoke or hurt a spoke, you can fix it, but if you do break one spoke, you still do have to replace this whole thing, so it does get costly. I don't know how much it's called for the Halo spokes to replace. I would guess anywhere from $300 to $500, but they are a high-end wheel, like I said before, so it's a very, very nice wheel, and if you're looking for something that's lightweight, responsive, and also stiff, those are a really, really good wheel. For the wheels on here, I went with the new Challenge Criterium RS. I've ridden these wheels in the past with a white sidewall. They used to come in only a 700 by 27C, but now they have the brand new 28C to go ahead and match with like the new hookless tires in there. These tires are hookless compatible, even though that these wheels are a clincher, which I like. But I like the Challenge tire. They have a nice, really good tread pattern, smooth in the middle, and that nice grippy texture on the side. These are their Criterium tires, so these would be perfect for like a race day tire. Or the best thing about them too is they're an Italian-based company. They even advertise as being handmade in Italy. They have the best quality control I've seen in a tire in a long time. We have a customer who comes in and weighs all our tires out. These were 252, 253 on the dot. Maybe 1 to 2 gram plus or minus in terms of weight. Whereas you go with Continental, you go with Schwabe, you go with Pirelli, you'll see fluctuations there from 10 to 20 grams sometimes between tires for the exact same tire. So very good quality control, and they're always stupid hard to get on. So if you ever worry about your hookless tire falling off too, these things are a pain in the ass to get on. For the tubes I have on there, the Ride Now TPU tubes in a 36 gram weight. They're very lightweight. It's a very, very nice material. I'm a big believer in TPUs. It's one of the most cost-effective ways to go ahead and save weights at the best spot of rotating mass for your wheels. And it's the best cost-effective way to go ahead and add speed to your bike without breaking the bank. For the rotors on here, I went with carbon tire rotors. They're absolutely beautiful. It's a carbon fiber middle piece with their own rotor on there as well. And then I went with the DT Swiss 6-bolt lock ring cap. They only make the carbon tire rotors in 6 bolts on there. So if you have a center lock wheel, like most road bikes are, you have to get in an adapter piece. But even with that adapter piece being carbon tie, they're still lighter than the Dura-Ace XTR rotors and also the SRAM Red rotors. They're one of the most lightest rotors on the market. And plus they have a bunch of style points, being that Pogacar rides them in the Tour and the pro races, and they look badass. They look really, really cool. They look different from the norm. Downside is they cost about $240 per rotor. That's right, $240 per rotor, and you're probably only saving about 5 grams per rotor from this to XTR. So if you're looking not to break the bank, go with XTR. If you're looking for a little bit of style points, you don't know what else to upgrade your bike to, those things are badass. Really do like them. With the SL8, they do have the upgraded axles on here. They're lighter than the old SL7s. Basically, they adopted the specialized ethos skewer, and they pretty much put them into all their bicycles, so they cut down weight here. With the specialized Tarmac SL8, you can only run a 160 in the front. You cannot run a 140. So that's the reason why, if that was the case, I'll be running 140s. But this is a proprietary front disc brake mount adapter on here that is given to you by Specialized when you buy the frames. Going down to the frame, we have the gloss Specialized logo right here. And also, the thing I love about the white with the black is that I can pretty much decal kit this thing out. So if I want to run a pink, because you guys can see my pink frames and gear directly on here, if I want to run pink logos here, I can. If I want to run a lime green on here, I can. You can buy decal kits wherever, and you can change it to look at your bicycle really, really nicely. For the Specialized Tarmac SL8, it is a threaded bottom bracket, and this here is the Nova to Ride BB. I've been with them since I've been with 6,000 subscribers. This is a ceramic bottom bracket that's half the price of the other people out there like Kogel and Ceramic Speed. They're being used in the Pro Tour Peloton now by the team who uses the Look bicycles. Phenomenal. They make the OSPWs, they make the bottom brackets. It's a machine one-piece BB for the BB86 all the way through, so if you're running press fit, that makes sure the holes are aligned. They're really, really nice. And I have them in my Tarmac SL7. I have them in my titanium bike right now with the T47. I haven't had any issue with them, and they're very, 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 very smooth. Very low friction. I love, love, love those the bottom brackets. They come in different colors as well, but honestly, for the quality of them, if you want to step foot into a ceramic BB game, for sure, they're half the price of pretty much everyone out there, and you don't have to break the bank to get in there, which is really, really nice. So if you're thinking about it, go for it. If you want to save the money, you don't have to. This is not going to beat you on a group ride. This is not going to make you into the Pro Peloton. So remember that. But again, I like it for the bottom brackets. I think it's a nice thing. Going over to the other side here, we have the Bjorn bottle cages, carbon fiber Bjorn bottle cages. I was looking at this when I got the seat. Bjorn went ahead and partnered with me and sent me these things out. They're carbon fiber. They're in this kind of like a 3K weave. They look very, very nice aesthetically. Very lightweight as well. These are probably the lightest weight bottle cages I have in there. I think they're $130 for the pair. So that's a little bit confusing. People don't understand that. When you go to their website, I think they're 130 bucks for the set. It's not just one cage, so keep that in mind. So pretty much on par with everyone else out there for carbon fiber, but they hold the bottle really nice. We don't have the bumpy roads here, but I don't have any issues. I run a SWAT storage bottle here, and I run a bottle here, and I don't have any issues, which is really, really cool. But aesthetically, I love the look of them. Going down to the, and this frame is Fact 10R carbon, like the Pro, the Expert, and the Comp logo on there. For the crank on here, I have the Shimano Durace crank on here, the 12-speed. It is a 170 millimeter crank arm. We're going shorter and shorter now here. All these trends I told you guys I wasn't going to hop on, the wider tires, the lower pressure, these shorter crank arms, the narrower bars, I have pretty much fell into, and I have been loving them. You guys were right, I was wrong. That's the beautiful thing about YouTube, is that even I learn stuff on here as well. People correct me when I do things wrong. I like to learn too, so that's the best part about this community, is that you guys recommend stuff. I see pros doing it. It's very nice. The shorter crank arms have been a little bit more forgiving on the tops of my knees and also on my hips for going ahead and running this lower, more aggressive position. I feel like I can go ahead and run a more lower drop position. I don't have my knees going into my stomach or my lunge muscle, is what we call it. So going forward, I might even try out a 165 crank, hint, hint. We might have something come in here to go ahead and make it stupid light. But this is not the bell of the ball here. This is the bell of the ball. This is an Alu Gear chainring. It pairs very well with the Shimano 12-speed chainrings on here. You can just basically run it with their stock crank, so 110 BCD. They even have this little arrow cover. They come in an array of different colors: blue, green, red, purple, orange, silver, whatever you want. I chose black with a black arrow color. You can mix and match arrow color cover to chainring. But this is one of the best chainrings I could find in terms of a Shimano 12-speed chainring compatibility. I know Rotor makes some. I believe Wolf Tooth makes some. But in terms of compatibility, this was one of the best looking ones I could actually find for this crank set. And it just, again, adds bicycle flair to it a little bit. It gives your bicycle some character. It looks different. I don't know if the arrow cover actually makes it faster. I would assume so, but who knows? I don't think they have any claims on there of what the arrow cover does for there. but it can go all the way from a 38 tooth, which would be the smallest for a 1x, or it can go all the way up to a 62 tooth. So if you want to run a TT, you can get this for your TT bike. They also make it for SRAM axis. They also make it for 11 speed. They have a whole bunch of stuff on there for chain rings, which is really cool. And they're competitively lightweight. I think they're lighter, one of the lightest chain rings out there on the market. So that's nice. And for the pedals, I'm running the Favero Asioma Duo pedals. I've been running with them ever since they gave me these pedals when I did the first comparison video I've ever done. Been about 2 years. Super, super nice. Very, very reliable. Plus or minus 1% in terms of power accuracy. It's better than SRAM Cork power meter cranks on there. And reliability is just amazing. I haven't had any kind of failures with it. I charged them maybe 8 times in the times I had them because of the fact of, I don't know why, just they work really, really well. They're compatible with Keo plates. I like them a lot, so that's very nice. I do have on here the 1x cover by Specialized. I think they'd make the 1xs look the cleanest. And then going to the back here, this is our Frankenstein build. This is what probably people are looking at right here. On here, I am running, yes, Shimano, but this is a SRAM XX1 Eagle chain. That's the black chain right there. You guys are probably wondering that. That is a black Eagle chain for an XX1 mountain bike mixed with a 1x chainring. And in the back there, I have a press-to-cycle cassette. I did a video on the press-to-cycle cassette. This is a 1028 configuration that works with Shimano 12-speed. I didn't want 1130 cassette. I didn't want that. I don't use those gears at all. I have in this gear now just for the video because I think it looks cool. But when I'm riding typically, I'm typically riding in this block right here. This is a one-piece milled out cassette that is super lightweight, 100 grams lighter than an Ultegra cassette, 30 to 40 grams lighter than a Dura-Ace cassette, and they have it in an 1128 configuration, which I think is a little bit better or more appropriate for how flat we are over here. So, Ultegra rear derailleur, alu gear chainring, SRAM XX1 Eagle mountain bike chain, and a press-to-cycle cassette. The press-to-cycle cassette I really do like. It was a nice little change of weight, and that's a great weight savings right there. And also, like I said, they gave a 10% discount code out, so it's 260 bucks. It brings that down to 240 bucks. And it's a great way to cut weight off the Ultegra on there. And if you want that 18-tooth gear configuration that's on this bicycle, like let's say you really did like the 18-tooth that Shimano now is missing, this has that in there, which I do like as well. For the rear derailleur, it's the Ultegra rear derailleur with the Nova to Ride OSPW ceramic, which is nice. Absolutely love it. Very, very nice in there. And you guys can see, I have this little frames and gear direct mount hanger. That's a pink one. They have an oil slick, red, gray, really, really cool. Everyone always seems to think that those things, what they do is they help align with better shifting. I mean, typically you're just cleaning up here. You're removing the direct mount hanger that goes to the derailleur hanger on the bicycle. So you're losing some weight there, which is minimal. But mainly the best idea that I can describe what this does is when you're changing your wheel from a flat tire, or if you're a pro and you want to drop your wheel out fast, go ahead and adjust it. It brings it back a little bit to go ahead and it's not as cluttered for the rear derailleur, so it's easier to remove the wheel. There are some claims out there saying that it makes it more direct of a shift because it's lined up better. I mean, it shifts really good either way. With or without this, it shifts really, really good. But again, it's added flair to it. I think that I like that little pink anodize on there. The oil slick my buddy has looks really, really cool. And not only does Frames and Gear make these direct mount hangers for Shimano, but they also make out front mounts for handlebars on there as well, like for Revolve and also Reserve, I think, and Cervelo and stuff like that. So keep that in mind in there. And then for the rear wheel, it's the exact same as the front. It's the Loon Mega in a 54 tooth. I'm sorry, a 54 depth hub. And then they have a ratchet system in there with a 36 tooth, which you guys get a free up bias on test at the end, and a 140 millimeter rotor as well in the back. Looks very clean. And then to the seat post on here, this is the Specialized Tarmac SL8 seat post that is proprietary. Now, as you guys can see, my seat is kind of pushed all the way to the front. That is because I like to be pretty much as close over the cranks as I can be. I know, it's probably not optimal at all. I don't really care about the comfort. The whole idea behind the setback seat post, which this is a 15 millimeter setback on the seat post, is to go ahead and add compliancy and more comfort for the ride. You see a lot of pros now riding a 0 millimeter setback on there. And back in the day, I want to say just 4 years ago, everything used to be 20 to even 25 mils setback. So we're going shorter and shorter. 15 is good, but I will be getting a 0 offset post very soon, either in Dorimo or just regular. But I think for the weight weeding, I might go Dorimo. And then here I have it pushed all the way forward in the Bjorn saddle carbon fiber rails, carbon fiber body with their own 3D printed saddle. This saddle is my favorite saddle. I definitely think so. It's $425. It's in the realm of what all 3D printed saddles cost in terms of high-end 3D printed saddles. My favorite saddle ever is the Roman Evo by Specialized. It has a nice cutout here and has a very similar shape to this. But not only with this, it has a very dense 3D printed material on here. Dense here, so that way it's not too forgiving when riding uphill. So if you need to sit up and you need to ride up there, you have actual support back here. But on the tops here as well, in the front of the saddle, it's very, very comforting. And even right here as well, you have some nice comfort or cushion right here, which will allow whenever you're going into a more aggressive position and leaning forward, maybe going into your drops, or just maybe bending your hips more to go ahead and get as lower as you can. This will be a little bit more forgiving. But the main thing is just this has a natural cutout. On other 3D printed saddles I tried, they have this mesh material here, which works, but it just, for me, I didn't like it as much. This I don't go numb with. This I actually enjoy riding. It feels more inviting when I get on it. This is the only seat that I ride a bike, and then the next day, I don't have that kind of like, it's like working out, you know, you kind of feel sore. I don't have that feeling with this thing. Without a bib, it feels nice. With a bib, it feels really nice too. So I really do like them. And also, I think they're 130 grams compared to other people out there where that's like about 200 grams for a 3D printed saddle. So saving 70 grams there. They claim it's the lightest 3D printed saddle out on the market for a carbon fiber saddle. But that is it, guys. That is my Specialized Tarmac SL8. If you guys were to build this thing up yourselves, minus the wheels. The wheels are very, very expensive if you want to go a little bit more budget. Let's just say you went to like a normal WINSPACE wheel in there for like $1,300, $1,400. This bicycle would be probably around 7.5, 35, so yeah, maybe 35, 7.5, somewhere around there for a 6.88 kilo bicycle, and it feels phenomenal, okay? I'm ecstatic. I'm super happy with my choice. I'm super happy with the color. Super happy how everything kind of turned out. I'm obsessed. I'm riding again Wednesday. I'm riding again Friday. I'm riding again Saturday. Absolutely obsessed with how everything turned out. I can't thank enough to all you guys who've supported me. I can't thank enough to all the companies who helped me out. So thank you guys again so much for watching. Stay tuned for the free body contest right now, and stay tuned with the video coming out where I'm actually going to try to get into the 14 pounds, maybe even 13 pounds, where I get some new wheels, new crank, new seat posts. Anyways, guys, stay tuned. I'll see you guys next video. All right, here comes the free body contest on these Loon Mega wheels right here. Here we go. And look how balanced that is too. Super balanced. All right, guys, that's going to do it for the video. Thank you guys again so much for everything. I'll see you guys in the next one.